Lisa,
Are we in?
are we in? Are we on? Are we on?
No, I'm just sitting here because I feel like it.
Oh, we're on.
I'll have a cup of tea over there. You look like a painter and a decorator today.
Would you like me to call you your cup of tea?
Oh no, I'll get it in a minute, it's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll get it when you're interrupting me
I
about
don't
something.
look like a painter.
Oh God, then you'll be up and down like there's no tomorrow.
Oh no.
How to switch a button within 30 seconds.
Please don't slurp again.
Don't make me laugh. I've got a hot
Please
tea in my
don't
hand.
slurp again. Honestly, I have like a.
I wasn't slurping because there was no water touching me.
Okay, well, I'm done. Cheers, guys.
Bye. Pa-pa.
I'm not the ASMR fan.
Really?
I can't stand it.
You can make millions from it.
Can you?
From that slurping tea, I do not.
You'd be surprised what some people's fetishes are.
Anyway.
Anyway.
It's your Popcorn Pundits. We're not talking about fetishes today, are we?
That
We
was
could do.
that was a sluggish start.
Was that we sort of went to the edge and then came back again.
Well, you might have.
Tiptoed and we're back again. It's your Popcorn Pundits. It's week 67. 67.
Wow.
God, what should we have a celebration on the 100th?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
If
that.
we all make it.
If we make it after that.
Some of us will be there.
Some of us will be there. So on a weekly basis, it is Peter, James, and Nikki like to inform you what's going on at the cinema at the moment, ensuring that you're up to date with the top 10 at the cinema at the moment. And we also like to highlight one or two streaming movies that you may have missed. Peter likes to watch them sometimes, and then you'd like to watch them sometimes. You don't like to watch them sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Are you with me?
I thought you were
You said it as
bitching
a
at me
dig.
again. Yeah, because literally
Immediately.
you walked into the.
It's all about him.
Listen to this, and I'm going to say the word studio. You walked into the studio this evening.
Yes.
And this morning.
That's right.
And literally you've been a dick ever since, and
I
you've
have.
been really mean to me.
And that was episode 1.
I know, and it hasn't stopped since, really. And the
67
romance
weeks
blossoms.
later. Nothing has changed.
So this week we're going to be highlighting the top 10. We've got a couple of films that we've seen at the cinema. Peter's seen one or two films at home, and then I'm going to be giving him his homework.
Beautiful, and that's basically what we do.
That's pretty much what we go. We are edging towards the Oscars. There's lots of nomination films, lots of gorgeous films being released in a rush to ensure that they are in line for the Oscar nominations, which is, I think we're in a bountiful moment of films at the moment.
Yeah, it's quite weird because if you speak to Joe Public, quite a lot of them don't know what to go and see at the moment. You must have been asked by all of the fans locally that
They stop me in the
listen
street.
to our podcast.
They go, please,
Well,
pundit.
I've actually had a few this week,
Yeah.
and everyone's just like going, I just haven't been because there hasn't been anything which has kind of grabbed me.
But there is loads. I think there is
They haven't been to the cinema with James then, have they, if nothing's grabbed them?
Yeah, blah.
Hey,
Okay, top 10.
top 10. Why
Okay,
do we inform our listeners what is at the cinema at the moment?
Well, I can't do that
Why not?
because I need Nikki to help me with 10 and 9 because I didn't print it properly.
I've got 9 here.
Yeah, but it's just
Yeah,
hard.
it's only half of it.
And it might be that, but I haven't
I
seen
really
that.
hope it is.
Number 10 is Nosferatu.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Number 9.
Have you seen that again yet?
No,
You should go and see it again.
I should. I will do. I think I definitely will do.
Because I was talking to one of my friends this week,
Yes.
and who went to see it the first time and agreed with you,
Yes.
and then went to see it a second time
And
and,
then
agreed with me.
Wow.
Yeah, they said the smell of ham the second time they watched it was a bit overpowering.
Okay, interesting. Hard what, Nikki?
Hard Truth.
Hard Truth. No
Hard
idea what it's
Truths.
about.
So it is a drama comedy.
Yeah.
Pansy, angry and depressed, lashes out at family and strangers.
Right.
Her constant criticism isolates her, except from her cheerful sister Chantel, who remains sympathetic despite their differences.
Right.
And do you know its Rotten Tomatoes score,
73.
James?
96.
95.
No.
Yeah, so I think it
Rotten
might be one to watch.
So you get 2 scores on Rotten Tomatoes, don't
You
you?
do. You get the critics and you get the audience.
Yeah. So which one was that?
Sometimes
'cause
they
it's-
amalgamate the two.
Yeah, but the scores are generally quite different.
Sometimes.
Number 8, Moana 2.
Yeah, still haven't seen it.
Have you seen Flight Risk at number 7?
We have had some friends who went to see it and they said they're fantastic
I know, I was
review
here
last
last
week.
week.
Yes,
Yeah, I was here.
No, I'm just highlighting for the listener.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
It's
just
a
presumed it was
broadcast.
all
Yeah, I
about
know
me.
exactly.
I thought it was just a
Basic
random
broadcasting
conversation.
etiquette.
What?
So-
Don't interrupt.
Exactly. So we had reviews sent to us last week, as you well know, Peter.
I do. I was listening last week. It was
Yes.
excellent. One of my
And Sucker
favourite reviews
TV.
of all
It's
time.
like you were here last week,
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah.
Go for it. Number 6.
By saying that, the people I've been speaking to about seeing stuff at the cinema, they have mentioned that as the thing they were going to go and see. And
And you go, no.
that was my reaction, exactly. Ha 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 ha, no. That's exactly what I did. Number 6, Les Miserables, : the stage concert. It is not a film.
I'm not too sure how that works, because obviously you've got Les Mis, the film,
Yeah?
and then you've got Les Mis, the stage
stage
show.
show.
So why are they showing the stage show at the cinema when there's a perfectly good film?
Just because you've got to be in your bonnet about something, you can sometimes be a fucking moron.
Yeah, but then you could say the same. You could say the same about the
Wicked?
no, about the ballets.
That's right.
Well, sometimes
Is
the
there
National
films?
Theatre.
Is there films?
So 67 weeks of you not wanting to watch a live performance screened as a cinema.
Yes.
Just let it go, mate.
Let it go.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
No, that's about 4
Unbelievable.
years ago.
Okay, number 5, and I'm not surprised it's at number 5, is The Brutalist, which is the film that we're going to review.
That's correct.
First and foremost this morning.
2 weeks in, and it's at number 5 already. However, 1 week in, and there's something else coming up. Interesting.
Pardon?
Carry on.
Oh yeah. Number 4. Oh,
I was waiting for that reaction.
I didn't want to steal your thunder.
I
Do it,
know.
do it, do it, Peter.
Go on, Peter.
I said it.
number 4.
Yes, is.
Sonic the Hedgehog. 4.
Yes.
Fucking yes.
You know what? That's the highlight of your week when that happened.
I was
It's like-
convinced it was Sonic the Hedgehog 3 last
So
week.
was I.
Maybe they changed it because the positioning.
What, especially for you?
Well, so
Would-
next week, if it's at 5,
Nikki, would you
we'll
like
say
to,
Sonic the
Nikki, would you,
Hedgehog.
would you like to fact check? Because obviously, this is saying it's at 111 weeks out of the cinema at the
Yeah,
moment.
and it's still January 2024. I mean, we're not. To be fair, we shouldn't really use this. 'Cause it's garbage.
You
but
are correct.
Yes.
It is Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
It's almost
Last
like I'm a
week at
film
number
reviewer.
3, and then this week it seems to be number 4 at 4.
Fucking.
I think they're
idiots.
listening to you, and I think they're just changing the.
Yeah, they're trying to make
They're
money.
going to put
Number
Paddington
3?
at number 1 next.
Number 3 is the film that we.
Go on.
Zip it.
Zip.
Is the film that we reviewed last week, Companion. That's all I've got to say about that.
Is it? All right. Okay. Cool. And that's at 1 week on release, and that's higher than a Brutalist is that for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you've got
That's
to
what I'm trying to
remember,
put
people
across.
are. I was quite scared going to see The Brutalist because of the length of it.
No, understandably. I know 3 people that didn't go because of the length.
Because of the length. And you've got to understand that everybody went to see
Yes.
Oppenheimer.
Yes.
And they all came out with sore bottoms.
They did.
And this is like nearly 40 minutes longer than that.
Yes. With,
Yeah.
with less explosions.
Yes.
Mm.
We haven't discussed the fact that number 2
Yes.
has been number 2, I think, for 65 of our 67 weeks. It's been there for fucking ever. Mufasa, : The Lion King.
7 weeks on release.
It's
Still
been
number
there
2.
the whole time.
Absolutely.
I can't guarantee that. But I mean, I
I was
think
going
it
to
has.
say, you're putting £1 in it this time.
Yeah, I think I'd put £1 on that.
Into what? It's going to be ready until Easter. Number 2.
When's Easter this year? April or...
You're asking a G, mate. I haven't got a clue. Number 1, A Complete Unknown.
Talking about Zimmerman's.
Yeah, exactly right.
A complete unknown.
And if you speak to any Dylan fans,
Like
they
a
love it.
rolling stone.
And I don't. I mean, it's still at number 1, which is brilliant, and
absolutely.
I'm still listening to loads of Dylan,
Good.
loving it.
Good.
It's awesome. So that is this week's top 10 in the UK and Ireland,
Yeah.
according to some factually inept morons.
Wow.
Wow.
And you.
Oh no, I put myself in.
Oh,
that
right.
category.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
absolutely.
Good. Actually, top 10 UK and Ireland, according to Nikki Smart.
According to me,
Yeah.
if it was my top 10, there would be half those films would not be on there.
Oh, okay.
And Paddington would be number 1
Exactly, since Christmas.
at least till Christmas.
Let the Popcorn Pundits know if you've seen any of these films. Let us know if you've got any reviews of said films, or if you've got any films that you think should be in the top 10 but haven't reached it yet.
Yep.
That was good, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
Just strap that one in there. Just
you're-
throw it in there. Like a cavalier.
You're very good at this.
You're like a roundhead.
Oh, stop it now.
What?
Oh, he's doing a Jewish joke, which is
No?
really...
Round-headed cavaliers? No.
Yes, that's how you describe the penises of a Jew and a
Oh,
non-Jew.
no, I wasn't talking about your spits downstairs. Or your bit downstairs, should I say.
Yeah, you were.
Half a bit.
Don't. After Sophie's revelation yesterday, I don't think I can cope. Anyway, this week we're reviewing The Brutalist.
I'm so glad I wasn't there.
Yeah. I got pictures and everything.
Right, what are we doing?
We're doing The Brutalist.
Reviewing The Brutalist.
Were you scared going into this? Did you have concerns? When did you go and see it?
I was there on Saturday afternoon.
Afternoon?
Afternoon.
What time was it?
It was approximately...
1:30ish.
I think so, yeah.
So this film has an interval?
It does, indeed. So it's virtually... This is virtually a 4-hour movie that has a 15-minute interval approximately half the way through.
Yeah. Should we discuss the AI thing first?
Let's do that. No, before we do anything, let's go through a list of all of the actors, the director, and then we'll go through AI.
Okay, well, it's directed by Brady Corbett, who I don't really know from anything. I don't know much of his back catalogue. And was he on Lost? I think he was, wasn't he?
Lost, absolutely.
Yeah, which is obviously epic. But he's a producer and actor.
That's
more,
right.
More so than director.
He was actually more famous for being an actor who looked like another actor for quite some time, and I can't remember
That
the
was
exact.
his claim to fame.
That was. I don't think he went around with a T-shirt saying I look like this other actor. But
Well, no,
that's
he
how
would
he
need
was
to
known.
because he looked like him.
Yeah, well, I don't
Well,
know.
allegedly.
Yeah,
I don't know who he looked like.
I didn't accuse him
can't
of it.
answer that. This film stars Adrian Brody and Guy Pearce as the two kind of main actors.
I would say so.
Felicity Jones is his wife. Where else would you like to go? Joe Alwyn playing Guy Pearce's son Harry.
Good, thank you very much. I think that's enough for us in reference to background and reference to directors and actors.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we start on the setting of the location and the time and space? Because obviously, if anybody's not seen this movie, I purposely came to this movie not knowing anything about it at all. The only thing I knew that Adrian Brody was playing a Jewish character, and that's new. I had no idea if it's set in the future, set in the past, set in whether it's a real life story.
You know where the name The Brutalist comes from.
No.
Okay, so it's a style of architecture.
Right.
So the Brutalist is basically a very it's architecture based on very graphic shapes, generally cast in concrete, and it's a real kind of binary style of architecture,
Right.
which he was
Very Bauhaus sort of
very
movement.
Bauhaus type of thing. He studied at Bauhaus
Yes.
in Bucharest, and it's one of those kind of architectural styles that people absolutely love or they hate.
Yeah.
Generally made out of huge blocks of concrete.
So it's a very Marmite way of designing something that is incredibly clean, incredibly sharp, with no fuss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, which goes in line with what's going on in the movie as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so what time is it based in?
It's just post Second World War. So Adrian Brody's character, which is something as a what we do in the shadows,
Yes.
caused a little bit of a problem for me in this film because his name is Laszlo, and they say Laszlo like they call Laszlo in what they do
was
in
that
the
breaking
shadows.
it for you? Was
It was a little bit breaky for me.
Wow, okay.
I kind of sunk into it a bit more
Okay.
later on, but yeah, every time they started saying Laszlo to start
You
with,
expect him to jump out of a
yeah,
coffin?
exactly
I'm
right.
with you.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So basically, Laszlo and his wife Elizabeth are trying to flee Europe post Second World War.
Yes.
And they get separated in this process. And we basically we see Adrian Brody's character on a ship at the start of the film.
Now it's not clear whether it is a ship or not right at the very beginning. Because
No, it's a very chaotic kind of environment, isn't
Yes.
it? And it could have been a train. It was definitely a vehicle of some
and
description.
the darkness of the cinematography
with
is.
an occasional light beam
right.
through the window.
So it depicts chaos and uncertainty incredibly well, I think.
Yeah, and fear
Yes.
and angst and all those type of things that you would kind of be feeling in that type of.
Yeah.
And then the door opens. And we see a really unusual shot of the Statue of Liberty.
It's beautifully shot. I mean, the angle of it, the way that it just pierces through the light, and I think that in a way goes in line with the Brutalist way of thinking, where it's incredibly clean. It's almost in a little black box where you're looking through a window, and the window is obviously black because of the shadowing that works, and you see this bright blue sky, and the Statue of Liberty just pops out in the corner with the gold of the light just shining through beautifully. And I think that's really the first sea of colour and brightness that you really see at the start of the film.
Yeah,
Which quite symbolises the New Hope in America, I think.
Which is quite a common way of depicting that kind of period, isn't it? It's done almost black and white or very, very muted colour. And
Cool.
if I was going to say, like, obviously with Schindler's List, where you had the girl in the red dress.
100%. Now, one thing that does need to be made very clear. We don't want to give too much plot away because obviously the plot isn't integral to you enjoying the film, but it's a long film, and we go on more with the plot too much, you'll probably get bored and not watch the film.
I think we can do a bit of plot.
We can. However, at the start of the film, what is beautiful about the start of the film, but also a little bit confusing, is the chaos, and is that confusion, and is that lack of light that comes through, but also the lack of English that's been used at the start of the film as well. So at the start of the film, you virtually have two subtitles that are overlapping each other, and you have two sets of dialogue. You have the dialogue, I think, if I recall, it's from Laszlo's wife, explaining about the process of what's happening to them at the beginning, but also the background story of Laszlo and his associates trying to find the best location in the boat and just basically surviving at the start of the story. So would you agree with that?
So Elizabeth and Laszlo are writing to each other.
That's right.
And then the dialogue in the boat is between him and a guy that he's befriended.
That's
who
correct.
they then kind of leave the boat together and then start their onward journey.
So it's a quite a jarring beginning because it's quite confusing. But also I found, and unless you speak the language, I found that the two sets of text and the two sets of language, which is not English, and that's my only language that I speak, unfortunately, was incredibly disorienting for the first 10 minutes or so. It was trying to read, and subtitles for me traditionally are a breeze. It's not a problem at all. So it's not a dyslexic thing. I think it was definitely the fact that because you couldn't see the character's face talking, and you'd usually associate that with subtitles and text, and you could follow the storyline. There was no subject of storyline as the story began. So you were in a very dark environment. There was a lot of chat. There was lots of text coming on, and you weren't quite sure whether you should be reading the text or looking at the imagery. That's what I'm trying to get across to you.
I think that was the intention.
Yes, exactly.
I think it was a creation of chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's not the first, I'm sure that's not the first time.
I'm smiling not at you, and because of that, because I totally agree with you. I'm smirking because we're talking about the first 20 seconds of this film, and we've been doing that for about 5 minutes. And
Yes.
this film is nearly 4 hours long, so I'm just worried about getting to bed tonight.
That's okay.
So Laszlo and Elizabeth
Yes.
are separated, and Adrian Brody's character basically enters the United States, and he's basically, I presume he is, he goes to visit his cousin.
That's right.
And I presume that the cousin has kind of enabled him to get on that ship. That was kind of my presumption.
Yes, there's definitely an unwritten or unsaid assumption that there's been some help around.
Because Adrian Brody is basically he's just so elated, and the emotion that he shows is his absolute joy of arriving on the shores of America.
Yeah.
And then also the devastation of him having to have left his wife, who he now presumes is dead actually, and then he goes to work with and live with his cousin, who's got a very, very prosaic furniture store, and he lives in a back room in there, and the cousin isn't the nicest human being on the planet and quite cold to him. But even so, Laszlo is just so immensely grateful for the opportunity to be living in the free land.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so one of the themes that runs through this film is the blossoming of Laszlo again, because Laszlo is an architect, and he trained as an architect in the Bauhaus University in Bucharest.
That's right.
And comes over to the States and basically starts off very, very low key and very, very happy to do anything and everything like that. But then slowly over time, his character kind of resumes back to what he was before, which was this. How would we describe him?
He's an artist.
That's
what he is. He's an artist.
An anarchic artist.
Yeah, and it's from the Bauhaus movement. Everything is incredibly simple. Everything is incredibly thought through to the point where the function becomes part of the beauty.
Absolutely. Guy Pearce enters the film.
He does.
But because Laszlo and his cousin are commissioned by
Guy Pearce's son.
yes
to Harry.
To convert a study into a library,
Mm-hmm.
and he does it with beautiful aplomb and creates this wonderful
But
space.
this is all done in secret, isn't it? So without
it's
the
done
knowledge
as a
of...
birthday surprise for the father who is looking after his very ailing mother.
Yes.
And this is played by Guy Pearce, who then comes back to the house and right royally loses his shit.
That's right.
And kicks the whole fucking lot out.
Yeah. I mean, Guy Pearce's character, I feel, is one of these incredible, intense characters that you instantly know he's a wrong one. Even in his first walk, the way he walks, the way he talks, everything about him, you just think to yourself, you have the means to be a fantastic human being, but you're not going to be.
Yeah, and as an actor, this was another take me out of the movie moment that I thought Guy Pearce's first scene in this movie, he acted terribly. After that, I thought he was absolutely mesmerising. His accent in the first scene he has in the film, I thought was really, really bad, and
I didn't spot that.
It really put me off, and then I was just like, oh god, this is a long time to be sitting here feeling uncomfortable about something. And actually, after that, I just totally disappeared.
Okay.
Now, I love Guy Pearce's character in this because we know some entrepreneurial people in our lives.
Do.
We have some, big business owners. And I thought he was that beautiful onion of a character that he has almost an obsession about Laszlo and an adoration towards him, and yet no respect for him whatsoever. And
he's an object.
Yeah, he's Harrison, Guy Pearce's character is the pure narcissist, and that's how he's got to be as successful as he is. And anyway, so the bulk of this film is basically about the building of a memorial building for Guy Pearce's character's mother, who passed away the weekend, but they moved back into the house.
Yes,
I think that's enough plot.
100%. What we have here is we have a 4-hour film that has the gravitas of There Will Be Blood, that has the gravitas of some of the biggest, most epic films with gigantic, heavy storylines. And yet the storyline for this is incredibly light. If you were to write this up as a paragraph, as a story from start to finish, it is basically it's a refugee, an immigrant who has moved to America, who's been given an opportunity to use his craft, who's then been thrown to one side because they didn't understand his craft, and then not only to be cherry picked back into society again because that person has then decided, oh no, you're good enough now because I'm getting accolade for my new library now. I'm going to use you now as a poster boy, and then you're going to create something for me. However, during this process, I would then dictate to you exactly how much money to be spent, exactly how much creative freedom you have, and actually how much personal freedom you have in your daily life. And I feel that it's not, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, yeah, it is. Apart from, if you did actually try and write down the plot to this film,
Yes.
you couldn't, because there are so many plots to this film, and there are so many character interactions in this film. And, okay, there are some people who are not going to see this because by the time you've watched the adverts and you've had your intermission in the middle, it's 4 hours of your life.
That's right.
Now, what I would say is, we've been doing this podcast for 67 weeks.
That's right.
I have spent many, many hours watching film, and I've seen a lot worse than this for more than 4 hours ever.
Absolutely.
This is definitely... If you're scared because you went to see Oppenheimer and you loved it, but it was long for you and you struggled with it, for me, this went much quicker than Oppenheimer. 100%.
In fact, I was saying earlier on, even before the podcast started, the 2-hour interval cut off it was almost a surprise to me when they cut it off at 2 o'clock. When they stopped at 2 hours, I went, oh, it's been 2 hours already. Now, one thing I can say about the interval, to me, I felt that it broke the fourth wall a little bit too much. That 15-minute break, going back to the cinema afterwards, it took a while for me to get my head around. I'm sitting down again. I'm now watching a film again, and I love film more than most people, and I'm able to immerse myself into the film more than most people, and that's the reason why I get really upset when other people are talking and they break the fourth wall for me and so on and so forth. But I have to admit, it took me a good 20 minutes for me to go, right, okay then, let's settle back into the story. Let everybody finish their crisps and so on and so forth. And that's the only thing I could say about the interval. I felt it should have went all the way through to the 4 hours. Peter, you've got a comment.
That's why you hate the theatre. That's why you don't enjoy the theatre, because it takes you out of the moment.
Exactly.
It felt very like being in the theatre.
Yes.
And the
It's a very good point.
the
67 weeks.
the interval.
He always makes
point.
great points. We just don't listen to them normally.
The interval came at a fuck. I don't want the interval now.
Exactly.
I don't. Not now.
Yeah,
Don't come
exactly.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, but the way they bring the film back in again is done very much the way they do in the theatre,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is quite a gentle roll back in.
Yeah.
So sorry, that just dawned on me as you were saying that, and I
Yeah.
thought rather than interrupting
No,
you,
no,
really,
and
I'll just
that's
stick my finger upon my palm and say it at the
Absolutely,
end.
but no, that makes complete sense. What you're saying.
Yeah,
And,
I didn't mind the interval at all. In
Yeah.
fact, I really enjoyed it.
did you?
Yeah, I
Isn't it
did.
Strange. I just felt it. Just
So I was shitting myself about this film
Yeah.
because I was really worried it was going to be just far too long for the content. But I was absolutely mesmerised for the full 4 hours. I just thought it was absolutely engaging.
Okay, so let's shoot over quickly through some technical parts of it, and then we talk about some
I
of the.
forgot a tiny bit
Go for it.
tiny bit of plot, which is really
Please.
important.
Yes.
Because post interval,
Yes.
we are basically in a slightly different story.
That's right.
Because Elizabeth joins the party.
That's right.
She makes her way to the States and
Which is
basically
the joy of Laszlo.
and enters the foray, and that changes the dynamic of a lot because she's
Massively.
quite an emotionally powerful woman.
She is. Yeah.
Physically frail, emotionally powerful.
Yeah,
Great character.
Really well written.
Beautiful.
Very, very well written. So I feel that. So let's go through the checklist of what's good and what's
you got
bad.
A checklist?
So starting off with cinematography, it's filmed on 70mm, and it really feels like it's filmed on 7mm. And they've obviously done something else to it as well. I can't remember what they've done to it, but they've made it feel grander than it really normally would do. I mean, even the shots of the library are absolutely epic. When they're just going through a making of the library, it's absolutely beautiful. I did feel that there was slightly lack of beautiful imagery of the finished building that he was getting the accolade for, and you know, whether it's built or wasn't built, and you let the viewers come to decisions of that.
Well, you've just answered that.
Yeah.
You've just answered that yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that is exactly what it was done. It was done because the actual end product wasn't the important thing.
Now, I yet again, because I knew nothing about this film, there was parts of me completely convinced several times through it, and the way this film and the reality in this film, the way that this is portrayed in a its lack of sensationalism goes along with the Bauhaus whole ethos. I think goes really, really well with it, and his personality kind of goes beautifully with the whole Bauhaus, where he tends to, he's incredibly emotional, incredibly artistic, but at the same time there's a level of subservience with him as well, which, because I'll just carry on with what I'm doing.
His character is equally content whether he's creating a masterpiece or he's being a draftsman for somebody else.
Or shoveling coal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just he
finds the joy out of most things.
He will find contentment in whatever task he's been set to
Not
do.
quite the same as the character from Perfect Days.
No.
But there is a silence with him that has a connection with him, I think.
Yeah, I just think it's a very, very layered character, and the writing is absolutely sensational in this film. It is.
Let us skip briefly over the AI controversy. What have you heard about the AI controversy? And I'll tell you
not a lot, and I'll be honest with you. I don't want to go too deep. And this is why I asked you, because your knowledge on this is far greater than mine, and I know there is a lot of industrial action because of the introduction of AI into the film industry, and I don't want to cause any offence whatsoever. My understanding is that they used AI to improve Adrian Brody's Hungarian accent, and there was some visual content towards the end of the movie which used AI to turn the the blueprints that they had drawn on paper into houses which weren't actually built. Personally, I have no issue with anything AI in the movie whatsoever.
No.
I personally wouldn't have known if Adrian Brody had used AI or it was just
because
him
we're not
acting.
familiar with that language. So
Yeah, exactly. For me, I don't know how much it improved it or whatever. For me, Adrian Brody's performance in this is nigh on perfect. And if that was improved with AI, then bring it on as far as I'm concerned.
I'm sure we might actually do a special on AI in the future because it's going to be more and more
We
important.
might not need to. AI can probably do it for us.
How do we know it's not already? However, I
ChatGPT, would you please interrupt me a fucking lot?
again. No, not now. My philosophy at the moment with AI is that if it's used in a similar way to CGI, and as long as it's done well, I don't have a problem with it in the slightest. Obviously, CGI took a lot of jobs away from set builders and set creators and so on and so forth, and there wasn't a hullabaloo about that. So I think it needs to be taken into consideration. I think it needs to be used in the right context.
Yeah, and I don't have enough knowledge on that.
Nor do
but it's been in a lot of press, so we can't not mention it. But I'm mentioning it in the fact that I don't have enough information to actually comment on it.
So I know we've had a review in from Lawrence.
Lawrence and Crispin.
Fantastic. Peter, would you like to give your score for The Brutalist?
Are we done on it?
We are done on it.
Is that all we're going to say?
That's all we're going to do.
Okay, 9.9.
9.9. Wow. You see, it's definitely not a 10 for me. A 10 for me is something that I would either drag people to the cinema to go and watch and go, you need to watch this. This is groundbreaking, and it is groundbreaking, but not in the same way that I would drag people to. And also there's another category where that you would have to want to watch this film over and over and over again. That's not how I would not watch a film over and over again. It's a beautiful, beautiful film, but it's a big movie to watch over and over again. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And and it is, different people are going to have different scores for this. So the watching it over and over again thing, my subjective opinion on that, I left a 4-hour film wishing it was longer. And it's not the same thing, but it's a similar thing.
No,
I wouldn't have minded it being another hour.
No, I like that.
And I was really enjoying it when it was starting to come to a conclusion. And the things about this film that made it a 9.9. And you're right, it's not a 10 film. The conflict of character with Adrian Brody for me just absolutely sold it. He was it's a masterful performance and a masterful writing of a character of an onion of so many layers.
Yeah.
He cries about his wife while he's doing stuff which should suggest that he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
The change in his character from submissive to being this beautifully silent, powerful man that no one's going to fuck with. It was so impressive to me. And I love character relations. I love the way that relationships build within a movie. There are so many character relations in this film which are all so truthful and so sincere. The moment when they go to choose marble in Italy is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my entire life, and the character is just stunning.
I mean, I think the final thought, and what people have to realise if they're going to dip their foot into a film that long, it's not 4 hours of people shouting at you. What you have is moments of beauty, moments of sheer excellence in cinematography.
Long moments.
That really draw you into the scene and then introduce you to text and then introduce you to continue with the subplot. So don't be concerned that you've got to remember a lot, because you won't. It's a beautiful story.
But you described the cinematography when they're showing the library as a completed room. Now, you have time to study that room. And actually think, oh my God, that is a stunningly beautiful space. And to have a film which is about architecture and allows you enough time to stand and admire the building is actually very clever. It's
sorry to interrupt, but it's actually completely the opposite to when we went to see the Tom Hardy movie about the motorbikes.
Yeah.
We didn't see any motorbikes at all. You didn't see any joy for the Hellraisers at all.
I just.
So you're right.
Yeah, I just thought that everything I love, that
Yep.
makes me emotional in a movie, is in this movie. And it's not for everyone.
No.
And what you said about the pace of it is absolutely right, because you have to be prepared for it being a long period of your day. But for me, it's such a great time invested. Take loads of snacks.
Yeah.
Order more drinks than you
Yeah.
think you're going to need.
Yeah.
Go over prepared.
Yes.
And I
Enjoy it. Settle in.
just love it.
Yeah, roll your
Just,
sleeves up.
honestly, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Nicola.
Yes. Would you like facts first, or would you like the other reviews we've had first?
Let's do the reviews and then do facts. We'll leave you to...
Save best till last.
Exactly. Nearly got out of that one.
By the way, your scores make it a total of 9.2.
Okay, we're happy
So
with
let's
that.
see if the
Yeah,
reviews
that's
change it.
fine.
So we've had reviews in from Lawrence and Chris.
Oh, I love it, Lawrence.
Here we go.
Are you ready?
We are indeed.
Hello pundits, hope you are well. This
Lawrence.
is a quick review of The Brutalist. I went to see it last Friday with Tucker TV. I did have a nap beforehand, as we know it's a 3.5 hour film with that interval, which is pretty good. When we were going in, I was chatting to Hannah about the certificate for The Brutalist. Earlier in the week, she had seen Baby Girl and had said that it was quite interesting, should we say, going into a cinema full of men while she watched that. We were wondering whether The Brutalist would have any scenes of a sexual nature. And as the certificate came up, it said that it contained strong sex, drug misuse, and brief sexual violence, which it does. And as that trailer, as the certificate came up, I heard Hannah, who 2 rows down from me, just chuckling out loud, which was quite funny. It's a great film. You will have covered the plot. The cast is amazing, you know, Brody and Jones and that guy from Neighbours. They do a fantastic job. It hasn't got a massive cast inside this film, even though it covers, you know, quite a lot of time. Kind of got me thinking actually earlier on today about, is this an epic or is it a masterpiece, and maybe what the differences are between those two things, if there are any. I think it is probably a masterpiece, and it will probably win a bunch of awards, as we can see it already is. The bit that I loved particularly was the soundtrack. Was listening to it on Saturday morning after having seen it on Friday night. That really captured me actually all the way back from the trailer. When the trailer came out, there was this kind of, you know, there's these 4, I guess, tones on the 4 chords on the soundtrack, and that kind of really kind of dragged me into the film actually, and that kind of comes out throughout the course of the film. But overall, fantastic. The time flew by. I didn't really feel like 3.5 hours. I would give it an 8.5. So I hope you are all well, and I will speak to you soon. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you very much, Lawrence.
He's really good at
He's
that.
very good at that.
Yeah, he's very good. No,
Yes,
it's,
indeed.
it's
No,
great
well
review.
read, Mr. Lawrence.
And Crispin said masterpiece, loved it, and he also gave it an 8.5.
Wow.
Which makes our score an 8.8 if you add all 4 of those up together.
Okay, we're still on the board. We're still on the
Still on the
board.
board.
In
Would
fact, we're
you-
pretty much, just below Heretic.
Not too bad. Well, it's the
Same
same
as Heretic.
score.
Yes, exactly.
Would you like some facts?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Well, as Lawrence mentioned, awards.
Mm-hmm.
So far, it's won 109 awards.
Right.
And in total, it's had 310 nominations, 10 of which are Oscars.
Wow.
So obviously they are, did I say the 5th or the 6th of March, the Oscars?
Yeah, you did. You said it was the 5th or the 6th.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that in the future. I like that. Yeah, you did.
I'm actually gonna give quite a few facts and try and give them as quick as I can. 'cause
Yeah,
there's
come on,
a
chop
lot.
chop.
So this is the podcast with Peter and Nikki. So the film was shot entirely on VistaVision, which is a widescreen format that runs at 35mm film horizontally through the camera to create 8 perforation film frames, twice the size and resolution of standard 4 perforation 35mm.
70 mil.
The film was released in theatres with 70mm film prints. Though starting with Star Wars Episode 4,
Yeah.
A New Hope in 1977, VistaVision has continued to see limited use to create high-resolution plates for visual effect shots. This is the first American film in 61 years to be entirely shot in this format, with the last being My Six Loves in 1963. And director Brody Corbett explained it just seemed like the best way to access that time period, which was the 1950s, was to shoot on something that was engineered in the same decade.
Nice idea, yes.
Yeah, well, it makes
Complete
sense. I mean, because you never know with the film production whether it is well, it's a layer over the top or whether it is actually in the you know, in the filming of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt very of the moment.
And this movie has an intermission built into the actual 70mm film reel that counts down from 15 minutes.
Oh, sick. Okay.
It's the first American movie to have an intermission since the 70mm roadshow release of The Hateful Eight in 2015. So 10 years ago.
Hateful Eight.
Did that have an interval?
Apparently so.
But the cinema obviously did.
I don't remember having...
Yeah.
Filming took place for a total of 34 days between March the 16th and May the 5th, 2023. It was shot in Budapest, Hungary and Carrara in Italy. At 3 hours and 34 minutes, it's the 5th longest film nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. Can you give me any of the other
Gone with the
four?
Wind.
Yes,
Oppenheimer.
Peter!
Oppenheimer.
No.
That's sure. That's under 3 hours.
So there's the Ten Commandments, 1956, which is 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Lawrence of Arabia, the 1962 one, which is 3 hours 42 minutes. Gone with the Wind, as Peter said, in 1939, 3 hours and 46 minutes. And the first film is 4 hours and 8 minutes. And it's a 1963 film.
Oh.
Any guesses?
Is it as epic as Gone with the Wind?
I can't remember what Gone with the Wind is like, so I've only seen it once. It's Cleopatra.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
With old Richard Bertie.
I mean, I was going to say all of those, but you interrupted me.
Because we're running out of time, Peter.
Yeah.
And the movie was first announced in 2020 with a cast consisting of Joel Edgerton, Marion Coulthard, I can never say her name, and Mark Rylance as the main characters, alongside Sebastian Stan, Vanessa Kirby, Stacey Martin, Isaac DeBanco, and Rafti Cassidy. But after several delays due to COVID, half of the cast was replaced.
I can imagine Sebastian Stan being Guy Pearce's character.
Joel
That would have been
Edgerton,
good casting, actually. I think I like the whole lot of that.
Marianne Coulthard and Mark Rice were replaced by Aidan Brody, Felicity Jones and some guy from Neighbours.
You
Some
say
guy
her
from
name
Neighbours.
really nicely.
You do say beautifully.
Who? Marianne Coulthard?
Yeah.
Is that not how you
Coulthard.
say? I don't know how you say it. It's
I'm
'cause
not taking a piss. You actually
No,
said it
thank
really
you.
nicely.
But it has the I in it, so I don't know if I meant to say Cotield. Whatever.
Coulthard.
No, don't do that.
No.
And that's Italian. Brilliant. Okay.
Aidan Brody previously played a
It's
Jewish
dyslexic
Holocaust
pronunciation
survivor
game.
in The Pianist.
That's right.
2002 that
Yeah,
was.
pianist.
And he won an Academy for that.
He did indeed.
And this is my last fact, thankfully.
Ever?
Yeah, have I not told you?
Oh.
It's just going to be Peter and James show.
Oh.
The names of Harrison Lee Van Buren and his son Harry evoke the names of US Presidents Martin Van Buren, Benjamin Harrison and Harry Truman, who was the president in the late 40s when the story begins.
Oh, nice historical connection there. I like that.
Harry's a little prick,
Isn't he just? So's his dad. So's
Well,
his dad. Yeah, well, don't talk about that.
Anyway.
Thank you very much. That is The Brutalist. We are recommending for you to go and see it. If you really, really cannot wait, watch it at the cinema. If you think to yourself, I can't sit, watch it when it starts streaming. Please, 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 because it is an epic masterpiece.
So I had an idea.
Go on then.
What you could do is you could take out a month subscription
And
at
watch-
a cinema.
Watch one half,
Yeah.
and then come back and watch the second
Yeah,
half.
the next
You
day.
could do, couldn't
Yeah.
you? Like a little television series.
Break it up like a TV series.
Easily, yeah. That's not a bad shout at all, Mr. Unger.
Do you think it going onto TV/streaming will change how you feel about the film?
I think this is
I think
a
the
must
epicness.
watch.
Yeah,
at
I
the
think.
cinema.
Yeah, I think you miss out on the 70mm. You miss
Yeah.
out on that soundtrack. You miss out. Yeah, you miss out on the grandeur of some of those incredible screenshots.
And I'm not being funny.
You never
The
funny.
act, thanks. The act of going to the cinema
Takes one to know one.
and diving in for 4 hours.
Yeah.
You can't do that at home.
No,
You
taking
don't-
that leap
how-
of faith.
Yeah, I mean, how often at home do you get a block of 4 hours where you're not interrupted by your kids or
You
your
not have to
dogs or your
pause.
or your
Yeah, make up a tea.
podcast podcast co-host.
Why did you look at me?
I was looking for sanctitude from you, that's all.
So anyway, there you have it. That's your Brutalist.
Yeah.
Yes, indeedy.
So should we move on to my homework? Because we seem to be keep just talking about the Brutalist.
That's right. That's crack on. So on a weekly basis, I like to give Peter a film that perhaps he's not seen at home or about seen at the cinema when it was first released. I'm always amazed by certain films. I turn and go, surely you've seen this film, and you'll go, no, and I go, right. Now it's very similar to when I first got together with my gorgeous wife Sophie.
Is it?
I
don't think it is.
It's exactly the same. It's mirroring almost. Where obviously her first language is French and her second language is
it's just like us.
It's just like you.
Yeah.
And when I was so excited to introduce her to films in English that she'd never seen before. So I'm overjoyed every time you turn around to me and you go, I stopped watching movies at the late 90s and we're just reinventing them all over again. So
Awesome.
Exactly.
Pardon me, sorry, it's late.
So what film did I suggest for you to watch at home, Mr. Peter?
Oh, so you recommended this to me a few weeks ago.
I did.
I think pre-Christmas.
That's right.
And I was kind of like a bit broken and
A bit.
bit cry.
Yes.
And you set me the film of The Cabin in the Woods.
That's right.
And so I watched it this week instead of when you said it originally because you said it's so good that I need to watch it and I need to watch it from start to finish,
You do.
uninterrupted, which I did with my son.
Brilliant. And how old's your son?
My son is 16, so he's legally allowed to watch it because it's a 15 certificate.
Fantastic.
Nice.
And what time of the day did you watch it?
We watched it in the evening.
Good.
We watched it about 8 o'clock, I think.
Saturday or Sunday evening?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay.
It was.
Right.
I'm going to say Sunday.
A Sunday.
Because you don't know.
Did you have any snacks?
We always have a little nibble of something on
Okay,
the sofa.
perfect.
It was probably
Okay,
a
so you're
Pringle
set
or
up,
two.
TV's on, you're sitting there with your cinema buddy, turn the movie on, give us your lowdown.
Okay, so I'm going to read the synopsis this time because
Please.
5 teenagers head off for a weekend in a secluded cabin in the woods. They arrive to find they are quite isolated with no means of communicating with the outside world. When the cellar door flings open by itself, whang!
Does it say Wapang?
Yeah, it does, yeah. They, of course, go down to investigate. They find an odd assortment of relics and curios, but when one of the women, Dana, reads from the book, she awakens a family of deadly zombie killers. However, there's far more going on than meets the eye.
There is indeed.
No, there isn't.
Beautifully read.
Thank you very much.
You should read stories.
Oh,
Yes.
Like bedtime
Just like Tom
stories.
Hardy.
Oh.
Yeah, on CBeebies. That was like
Yeah.
a bedtime story.
So this film starts off like the cabin in the woods horror,
Like
and I was just like, why is
James, why
and-
James watch me this cliche
exactly,
movie?
and
Yeah.
it's got everything that you want from your kind of classic Saturday night horror movie.
100%.
A
yeah.
bit of comedy.
My favourite bit is the start where you come across the gas attendant. And he's like
yeah.
cliche glass. You don't want to go up there.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But then before that, you've built that kind of character selection.
100% the
So
music,
you've got
the
the
light
stoner,
music.
you've got the really fit cheerleader,
That's right.
you've got the slightly nerdy girl who
Yeah.
loves books, you've got the guy who's the mate of the
Yeah.
quarterback, but you're not quite sure what he is or who he is.
Exactly.
Is he a goodie? Is he a baddie?
Exactly.
And so you've got that whole kind of put together.
Played by Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, no, Chris Hemsworth is the quarterback dude,
Oh, yeah, that's right,
and,
yeah.
and the other guy isn't.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's got Hemsworth in it, which is quite interesting work because he's really young in it.
Exactly.
So you're
Another one
watching
from
this film,
Neighbours.
and they kind of get in their camper van, and they go off into the woods, and they find this remote cabin.
Cliche tick, cliche tick, cliche tick.
I'm just like this.
Why is Why is James telling me this is so important?
And when the zombie family killers come out,
you go.
you're kind of thinking, fuck me, this is a short film. And it is only like an hour and 35 long, yeah? So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, not quite sure where we're going with
I
this.
know.
So things happen and horror happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the characters who are remaining
That's right.
try and escape.
Yeah.
And then there's a moment that made me rewind the film 3 times in a row because Finn had gone to get said Pringles, and then
It wasn't a bit with the
happened.
wolf. It wasn't a bit with the wolf head, was it?
No, it was the bit when a bird. Oh yeah, no. Yeah. So the wolf's
rewound
head,
that bit a few times.
The wolf's head is not a good bit to watch with your 16-year-old son. The cheerleading girl, getting her perky little tits out, not a good thing to watch with your 16-year-old son.
No. However,
On your own. Perfectly.
all day long.
Perfectly
You
acceptable.
pause that, big boy.
Nikki is fingering her palm.
I am. I just completely want to say I don't think I've ever seen you this excited and animated about homework.
It's just so funny because from this moment,
Yes.
It's just fucking
Batshit
mental.
crazy.
But it's not Leo. It's not Men. Okay.
It's not a James movie.
It's not a James movie at all. The twist is so not James, but we're then introduced to these other characters who we know from other TV programs and films and everything, and you're like, what the fuck are they doing, and why are they watching this? Basically, I can't say it. I can't say what it is.
No.
But you watch this film because there's a bit where something so minute happens, and you go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I said, Finn, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then he watched it, he went, what the fuck? And then so we were around it for a third time, watched it a third time, went, oh, okay. Now the film begins. And then you're starting to watch a totally different movie.
Exactly.
Which is, it's
brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. It's
so clever.
It's just. Yeah.
To me, it's one of the most self-aware horror movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the best way to describe it.
Because it starts off quite annoyingly stupid, and I'm just like, oh, come on, James.
And even the characters are so stupidly cliche.
Or caricatures of themselves, and everything.
And then you realise that the joke's on you.
It's all intentional, yeah. It's absolutely intentional. And like you're kind of watching this oh God, it's like goldfish in a goldfish bowl moment, and then you're invited into the outer world, and then the goldfish get out, and then I mean you can't really say too much about
so
what's
pleased
going
you
on,
enjoyed it.
but it's epic. It's just hysterical. It's not
funny.
It's not scary,
but it's funny.
It's a comedy horror.
Exactly, it's exactly what it is.
And the fact that it's
really clever.
But we've seen films this year which made that first bit the entire film.
Exactly.
I mean, like Night Swim or whatever. That fucking shower
yeah, or
shit.
Wolfman or whatever it may be.
Yeah. So, but this knows that that's not the important bit. The important bit is not the what, it's the why.
Exactly.
And the why is sensational,
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And I cannot believe they haven't done a second one. Cannot believe they haven't done a second one.
I can, because
Do you think that would spoil it?
Yeah, because they nailed it.
Yeah, they did.
Sometimes you can just.
Yeah, but they could have been sub films away from it quite easily.
Yeah, there could have been, but then I wouldn't have watched them.
No, but it was if it was done for the right reason, it would have been perfect. If it was done for the same reason as the original, it would have been perfect. If it was done just to make money, then it wouldn't be perfect. But I'm so pleased. Can we have your son's review?
Oh, so yeah, you certainly can. It's not the most in-depth review you're ever going to hear in your life, but I think it's pretty spot on.
So before you give a score, let's find out what you want.
Okay, so he has said, Cabin in the Woods. The first scene makes you say, what the fuck? He actually put WTF, so
Bless
I'm
his
assuming
heart.
that's
Well
good
done,
talk for
16-year-old.
what the fuck.
Yes.
Great film, batshit crazy, very captivated the whole way through, great to watch. 7 out of 10. The ending is very red.
The ending is very red. Not as red. Not almost as red as the substance.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a similar red.
A similar
It's a
red,
similar
yes,
level
and The
of
Shining,
red.
and all the other bits and bobs like that. So, what I do love is that they throw one or two quite meaty actors near the end, just as like side characters.
This is fodder.
Exactly. They go, where did they come from? And
But obviously they enjoyed making it, and there is a real sense of enjoyment
100%.
from all of the actors in this that
Yeah.
they know what their characters
Yeah.
are. They fulfil those roles absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah.
Mate, James, thank you. Just a great bit of homework. Really great film. Watch it.
so pleased. What score are you giving it?
I'm going to give it a 7.8.
Good.
It's not a world changer.
it's
It's not an 8 film.
No.
It's just a brilliant 7.
Good.
7
And it's the sort of film I've watched this movie many
I bet
times.
you have. Yeah, tits
And
is 8.
But the sort of film, the humour in it is done so well, and I think it just keeps pulling you back as a viewer to watch the film over and over. And if you're a horror lover, but not worrying about it being too realistic, it is a fantastic homage to every single horror movie.
It's a nod to so many different horror movies.
Absolutely.
And and we have watched some real shit over the last year or so. And this is just a breath of fresh air.
It is.
It's just a really light horror film that actually has a twist of all twists. It's brilliant.
Good.
Absolutely brilliant.
So pleased. So pleased. Good. Okay, so Nikki, do you have any facts for us on the film?
Yes, I do. So it has had 34 nominations in total.
Yep.
20 wins.
Nice.
What do you think?
Chainsaw.
Yes, so it won 4 Chainsaw Awards.
Of course it did.
Best wide release film, best supporting actor, best screenplay, and best makeup and special effects.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Creature special effects.
Perfect.
The thermal mug
Aquaman.
bong was a fully functional mug and bong,
Right.
as portrayed in the film. The prototype, how much do you think it cost to make it?
£25,000.
Let's go with that.
5,000.
I was going
okay.
to say 5,000.
Were you?
Yeah.
You missed out.
Doing this.
Snooze, you lose.
Bit of a spoiler alert
Go for
here,
it.
but when Jules kisses the wolf head on the wall,
Yep.
the wolf's tongue is covered in powdered sugar
Yes.
to give it a dusty look and make the scene more tolerable.
Oh, it was a lot more tolerable as far as I was concerned.
Josh Whedon and Drew Goddard actually wrote this script in just 3 days.
Well, yeah, there's no plot.
No, it doesn't need to be it's just an idea.
It's just, yes, concept.
Just like a fantastic idea.
And after the film was shelved due to the studio's bankruptcy, even director Drew Goddard and producer Josh Whedon had little faith in it until Lionsgate saw the finished film, loved it, and picked it up for release.
Thank
so
God
it
for
may
that.
never have been released.
Thank God for that. And the world would have been a darker place without this film, I think.
Is The Brutalist an A24 film?
No.
No. Do you think it should
think-
be?
I think it is.
We'll just,
Sorry, that just popped into my head. Sorry,
would you
I
like to
don't know-
double check that,
I don't know where that came
producer? So while Nikki's checking on that fact, I've got some more homework for you.
from. Oh yeah, wicked.
Okay. So this weekend at the cinema, there is an animated film called Dogman.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and Nikki's going to tell us who's in it, and there's some quite famous people doing the voices for Dog Man. Okay, so it's 2 words, dog and man.
Okay.
Okay, I've got a Dog Man film for you.
Oh great.
Okay,
Okay.
it's called Dog Man.
Okay.
Okay.
So but it's one word.
Exactly. You'd be pleased to know it's quite a commercially successful director. So you would have heard of the director. Hi.
Hi, I've got 2 Dogman movies here, a 2018 one and a 2023 one.
Oh,
It's a 2023 one directed by Luc Besson.
Let me have a look.
oh nice.
Yeah, I thought that put a smile on your face. Who doesn't like a good Luc Besson movie? Who doesn't like the Leon, the professional? Leon, or the professional, as they say in America, which really annoys me.
Well, how would you say it?
I'd say it's Leon. It's not the professional. They changed the name of the movie.
What a bunch of pricks.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. That and the Gaza. Huh. Anyway.
The Gaza, what the
No,
fuck?
exactly. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so you've got Luc Besson with so beautiful Leon, beautiful Lucy. You've got Taxi Driver. You've also got Fifth Element. So you've got some big meaty films, big meaty films, and his and I feel that his trademark all the way through the film is that you always follow a hero. You always follow a hero that is down in the dumps and could die many times all the way through said story. And there's always like quite a juicy baddie that usually has like either an Italian sort of twang to it or a Oriental sort of twang to it. There's always a cliche sort of twang to the baddies, and there's usually lots of shooting, lots of machine guns, and a fantastic soundtrack. That's usually what you get with a Leon movie, with a Luc Besson movie, usually with a little bit of like funky bits in the middle as well. So this is exactly what you're getting with this film.
You're describing the Fifth Element beautifully.
Okay, it's exactly what you're getting with this film. However, this film is unlike any Luc Besson movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I cannot believe I've not heard about this film before. Okay, I literally just came by accident on Prime. I went, why has nobody told me about this film? This is a James film. Okay, this is a James Luc Besson movie. Okay, I really want to tell you about the film, but I think you should just watch it and then we'll discuss it next week.
Oh, I love it when we chat about a film together. It makes me very happy.
Yes, we'll do that next week though.
Can we do that with The Wild Robot at some point?
100%.
Yes.
Did you ever see it?
No, I'm going to be watching it this weekend because they're releasing it again at the cinema.
Oh, okay. Go and see it at the cinema.
I will indeed.
Awesome.
So that is Dogman. Nikki, would you like to confirm that it is on Prime and...
Yeah, so the 2023 one, it is on Amazon Prime,
Yes.
YouTube, Google Play, Movies and TV, Apple TV, and the Sky Store.
Thank you very, very much.
And then with the animated one that's out in the cinema,
Yes.
Some of the cast that are on there
Yes.
is Pete Davidson, Isla Fisher,
Pete Davidson.
Maggie Wheeler, who is Janice in Friends. There's a massive cast, but yeah, they're some of the most famous ones, I would say.
Okay, right.
It looks quite good actually. It
I
looks
think
quite
I've seen a
silly.
trailer of it. I don't
I've
think
not
I
seen
have.
any trailers for it,
I
at all, but I
have.
just thought it's quite music. When I saw the advert for Dogman, I went, I just watched a film 2 weeks ago
Ooh.
called Dogman. I'm going to get Peter to watch
And
it.
there's a Hobbit in it. Billy Boyd.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Frodo.
So what films are you watching next week?
I don't know what we're watching this week.
So we've got Dogman.
Okay.
I've got Wild Robot. I think I've got a Scream Unseen on Monday over the weekend.
Have you?
Yes, a Scream Unseen, and I've got a funny feeling it's going to be Monkey.
Oh, I can't wait to see Monkey.
So I will report back to you on that.
What
as
day is
well.
that? I might jump in and sit next to you.
I think it's either a Saturday or Sunday. I'll let you know about that.
Okay.
I may go and see Companion again because my wife and also my friend Lawrence hasn't seen it yet.
When you saw it on your own, you didn't have a companion.
I really want to see that film again because I really, really enjoyed it. And there is also another film that I've been thinking about watching this weekend, which I haven't seen yet.
I can't believe how much my opinion of Monkey has changed from the different trailers that they've been releasing over time.
Really?
When I first saw it, I was just like, "Oh, get over yourselves!" Like,
Really?
They literally run out of ideas.
The
for
first
horror.
30 seconds of the first one, literally just the monkey just and him going, I was in.
Were you? No,
I was
I
in.
was not. I was out. And then as I've kind of seen what the film's about, I just love the idea of it more and more.
It's going to be really funny.
It's going to be
It's gonna be
hysterical.
really,
yeah, it is. I
really
mean, it's going to
funny.
be absolute glormongous, isn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
Would you like the 2 clues so far that have been released for Scream Unseen?
yes.
So clue 1 is the OG on 7.
Well, that's if you think about OG, you've got the son of Psycho, American Psycho, not American Psycho, son of Psycho. He directed Longlegs, and I think his initials are OG. And he's also directing. He's also
You can't remember his name, but you know his initials are.
yeah,
OG.
exactly. 'Cause I
It's
keep
almost like you've read this before you come here.
no.
It's almost like you're cheating.
No, it's like my brain is just putting it together at the moment.
Longlegs director is Oz Perkins.
Okay, there's a no in it. There you go.
There's a no in it.
Well,
And clue
dyslexically, you're
2,
correct.
Yeah.
clue 2 is 69-94-99.
No idea what that is.
Well, we'll have to find out next week. And you were correct. Peter the Brutalist is an A24 film.
Oh, well
So
done,
it's
mate.
A24 Universal Pictures and Focus Features. And it's English-Hungarian.
English Hungarian. Well, there you have it.
Oh, it's a fucking good week, wasn't it?
Very good week.
I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
That's okay. How can people watch, listen, hear?
Oh, well, you're best to watch us on YouTube.
I think so.
You can watch us on Facebook if you wish to, or you can download our podcast from wherever you like to stream your podcasts from.
It's very true indeed.
Yeah. And if you'd like to message us, you can leave a comment under our YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
You can you can leave a little message on Facebook.
Yep.
You can leave a message, or you can DM us on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You can message us personally, or if you are downloading our podcast from your favourite streaming platform, there is a message us button where we would like you to also let us know who you are, because it doesn't tell us.
Or don't and keep it mysterious.
Mysterious, or if you're going to be insulting.
And please rate, review, and subscribe.
Yes.
because
Like
that
and
helps
subscribe.
us.
Like that. There.
I think it's time, Peter.
The Brutalist. Week 67.
Yes.